والسلام على أشرف خلقه وخاتم أنبيائه وسيد رسله نبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المطهرين المكرمين. قال الله العظيم في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: والفتنة أشد من القتل. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Respected sisters and brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Without a shadow of a doubt, the subject and the concept of fitna affects the lives of each and every human being throughout history, and it's not a subject to be taken lightly. It was discussed in the previous discussion that the word fitna has so many different meanings, and the most common application of it in the Quran is a trial, examination, difficulty. And without a shadow of a doubt, therefore, the coronavirus, the COVID-19 epidemic is considered to be a fitna, in the idea that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is no doubt testing us all due to many reasons, and there is an opportunity for us to become better human beings as we deal with it collectively. Yet there are other meanings of the word fitna that we can perhaps explore and examine and seek benefit in our lives. Some of the meaning relating to, for example, disbelief and shirk. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 193, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَاتُلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةً. Fight them so there is no fitna. And here it might be referring to the fact that we should stop polytheism and disbelief in accordance with specific conditions as stipulated in the Holy Quran, and of course as taught by the Ahl al-Bayt. Another meaning of fitna is to be misled by God. Yes, sometimes when people reach a particular point in their lives, Allah misleads them. In Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, verse number 41, Allah says, وَمَن يُرِدِ اللَّهُ فِتْنَتَهُ. Yes, it could mean that Allah wants to examine them, but it also can mean that they could be misled. Number 4, the fourth possible meaning of fitna is to be killed. وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَنْ يَفْتِنَكُمُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, in Surah An-Nisa, verse 101. And the fifth one, major opinion with regards to the word fitna and what does it mean, is torture, persecution. Chapter 2, verse 191, وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. That this fitna, that's torture, persecution, is worse than being killed. Many people would want to be killed and not go through the pain and the suffering of torture. But today, the sixth opinion is considered by many as the main in their minds when the word fitna is mentioned, isn't it? And that is spreading mischief, corruption, dissension, division. There are many people out there today who would associate fitna in society as people spreading rumors, trying to weaken faith, discord, create disunity, sometimes bloodshed and violence. There are what are known as fitna mongers. They have existed throughout history. They've seized every opportunity to fulfill their mischievous objectives, and in terms of causing havoc, they have been the masterminds. And the Quran describes a number of such individuals who are known as, of course, fitna mongers in several places in Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Nisa, Surah Al-A'raf, and Surah Taha. And amongst them is the story of Bani Israel and this man by the name of Samiri. And the Quran gives much detail about Samiri, specifically in Surah Taha, that this man was an example of how he caused fitna and how we should be careful in life to be following an individual like Samiri. The very brief story of this episode in history is that Musa alayhi salam leaves hundreds of thousands of people to go to receive the Torah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for 40 nights. Since he was delayed, it was supposed to be 30 and he was delayed to 40, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala delayed him for a reason. A man by the name of Samiri, he exploits the weakness and the doubts of the people, the community of Bani Israel. They thought, okay, if he's not coming back, what's happened to him? They were vulnerable. They were worshipping idols for so many years. After Fir'aun drowning, they passed by a city and they saw idols. They wished that they would also have idols, and Musa rebuked them. So what this Samiri did was he built a golden calf, and he made it, with a sound, and he invited them to worship it. Musa alayhi salam returns quite angry, quite disappointed. people had left and neglected his brother Harun. And, to express his disappointment, he even held the beard and the head of his brother Harun to try and say, he's so unhappy, to show it was serious, to somehow exonerate Harun, because Harun would then say, yes, it wasn't me, it was people themselves who followed Samiri. And he finally destroyed the golden calf. He sent Samiri away, and, he threw the gold into the river from the burning golden calf. Now, Musa alayhi salam had to fight this fitna. But what happened was, there will be people who will exploit the weakness and the doubts of certain individuals in society. When they're, example, they're lacking leadership. When, for example, they are weak in their faith, you will have emergence of leaders of fitna, immat al-kufra, immat al-fitna they call them. They will try and get as much support from people to try and play with their fears, to try and make them worried and concerned about what they're going through. Another example from Islamic history, just for us to kind of have a very nice, rounded idea of these fitnas that goes on, just to understand what we should be doing at times where people are spreading mischief and corruption and disunity, is the example of how Imam Ali alayhi salam was confronted with the fitnas during his time of Khilafah. And there is a verse in the Quran which is fascinating, because it's chapter 8, verse 25. وَاتَّقُوا فِتْنَةً لَا تُصِيبَنَّ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْكُمْ خَاصَّةً. Quran says, be wary of a fitna that, it doesn't only affect those amongst you who are unjust. It affects all of you. And Allama Fakhruddin al-Razi, who is of course one of the well-known mufassirin of our brothers, the Ahlul Sunnah, he describes this to be, a verse that refers to the fitna of the Battle of Jamal. Because Zubayr said, Nazalat fina, Zubayr ibn Awam, the cousin of the Prophet, said, this verse is about us. And the Holy Prophet of Islam once was with Zubayr, and Imam Ali alayhi salam approaches, and Zubayr smiles. And the Prophet says, how much do you love Ali? He says, I love Ali so much, just like I love my children. Prophet says, I can just see you going to fight him. And At-Tabari, Zamakhshari, Qurtubi, Suyuti, these are colossal, big, huge ulama of Ahlul Sunnah, mufassirin of the Quran. I've checked these resources myself. They all say in their works of tafsir that this verse is referring to the Battle of Jamal. So, of course, we all know what happened in Jamal, that the whole idea of the killers of Uthman was utilized by the likes of the wife of the Prophet Aisha, Talha and Zubayr. And unfortunately, over 20,000 people were killed. Ala fil fitnati saqatu, Imam Ali alayhi salam. He realized the dangers of this fitna, and that's why in Nahj Balagha he says, Ana faqa'tu ayna al-fitna. I came and plucked the eyes of fitna. It needs strong leadership. It needs a visionary individual who realized that the difficulties. Here we have certain individuals, unfortunately, who were exploited, and they came and rallied people. Oh, let's come and stand against Ali ibn Abi Talib because he's protecting the killers of Uthman. And, they sought this avenue to try and bring down the Khilafah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, peace and blessings be upon him. Now, these were indeed two examples of fitnas in history, one in Quran, or both really in Quran, but mostly the second is from history and the Battle of Jamal. Now, today when we are facing a number of dissensions, we must appreciate a number of points that our ulama have advised us. Social media fitna is also an area that is critical. Why? Because people spreading lies, accusations, attacks on maraji, ulama. We see this widely, unfortunately, on different platforms, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, and so on. And we have to be very careful of these fitna mongers online. These keyboard warriors, keyboard mujahids, who are always there to try and break up a community, spread rumors about mu'mineen, spread these kind of images, fabricated ones, photoshopped ones, attack certain individuals. we have to be on guard. We mustn't share these posts. We mustn't necessarily engage with these people, give them oxygen, give them attention, which is the currency of social media. We have to be nipping this in the bud and ignoring them, because these people somehow, they feed on attention. They feed on people's, interest. And I'm surprised when people say RTs, and they retweets are not endorsements. Well, you're spreading it. Don't spread something that will displease Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't spread something that is against the teachings of the religion of Islam. Don't spread something that is clearly creating this fragmentation of community and society. The spread of fake news, people receiving all kinds of things. I saw a dream and the Prophet said this, that. Imam Ali has said this. Where's the reference? So this may all cause a fitna. This is where we need our ulama. This is where we need our leaders in the community to be, consulted, for them to really guide us with their wisdom and their foresight. Now, in terms of another dimension where fitna takes place in society, there is the broader presentation of Islam. There are people who are non-Muslims and Muslims who are placing doubts in the hearts of people about Sharia, placing doubts in the hearts of people, Muslims and non-Muslims, about what's right and wrong within the religion of Islam, about fiqh, for example, about law, Islamic law. Oh, don't do this. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't necessarily fit into Quran. Hijab is not wajib because of this, and so on. And we have these YouTube videos, and there are thousands attacking wilaya, attacking Ahl al-Bayt, attacking the Shia. This is all manifestation of fitnas out there, isn't it? Because anybody could do a YouTube video, anybody could post, anybody could create, an image and have texts on it. It's so easy out there today. It's very important that we stay on the principles, that we stay on guard, especially our youth, our youngsters. We teach them to stand ground, to be steadfast, to be strong in the face of all these temptations, to be drawn into pits of shaitan, fall into the traps of Satan. If we start having doubts and shak, go and investigate and seek the legitimate means of answering these questions. It is not about just simply, oh, what about this? Or I don't think this, or whatever. We have a system, we have marja'iyya, we have ijtihad, we have ulama, we have books, we have knowledge. We have 1400 years of heritage. Can't be just dismissed by an individual who comes and say, you know what, I don't believe in this, I don't like this, this doesn't necessarily fit into my understanding. And likewise, my dear sisters and brothers, we have fitna of these extremists, these people who are, practicing terrorism in the name of Islam, killing innocent civilians, from ISIS, Daesh, to Al-Qaeda, to Boko Haram, to all these Taliban and wretched organizations who are using the name of Islam to inflict pain and suffering around the world, tarnishing the name of the religion of Islam. Yes, only this last few days, innocent women and babies were slaughtered in Afghanistan by the terrorists of Daesh. They came and sprayed them. 1 month-old baby, few days old baby are slaughtered. What is their crime? The Hazara community in Afghanistan has suffered so much. They have had so much persecution. Why is the world silent? Who is going to help them? So, to stand against the fitna of these people who have hijacked the religion of Islam, to continuously speak out, to continuously educate. Education is key. To spread love and mercy and compassion is one of the best ways to counteract the venom and the cancerous teachings of these particular individuals. And, they will continue. If ISIS is defeated, and it has been in so many places, you will have other groups supported by certain countries. They will come and they will inflict more pain and suffering on the people. Why? Because Islam for them is a danger. Yes, we cannot let religion of Islam spread. So let's defame. So let's tarnish. So let's spread rumors. Let's get people to be disgusted by the actions of some people who claim to be necessarily Muslims. And then dua of iftitah. We recite this wonderful dua. Part of it, says, Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karima, تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us steadfast and strong, to realize and to be alert and conscious of all the different fitnas that happen in our lives. If there is a fitna that happens in my life, that is a hardship, a difficulty, examination, I deal with it correctly. If I see the other meanings of fitna happening around the world, I react with foresight, I react with wisdom, seeking help with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the representatives of the Holy 12th Imam, the ulama and the maraji. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all with tawfiq and success. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد